Hello, everyone. We are back. We are back with our OG team, the team that we started our podcast. We have Ruchi and we have Faiza. Welcome back, guys.
Hi, Ravneet. Thank you. Thank you for having us. Um,
So good to have you guys again. This is our season finale, and we had a lot of fun last night. We had our first in-person podcast. We have first in-person social event with meeting our alumni, our team, and a lot of future PTs. How are you feeling after that?
Hi, Ravi. Thanks for inviting this. It was so good. It was so happy and excited to meet all you all. It was so exciting to meet you in person, Ruchi, Kriti, and all the team members and other people like Mehu Patel, Parish Babu, all
Yeah.
all the entrepreneurs, like meeting the new students who want to just take like what they have to do. Like they were like, whether to join PCF or how they can go and take their exams. So it was really path guiding to everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How do you feel about it, Ruchi?
I feel we should do more. That was the first feeling. Just talking with people and communicating with so many people coming from different backgrounds, you realize there's so much need of awareness. There's so much need of spreading the word, letting people know and assure them that they're not alone in this and they're not the only ones. There are
Right.
so many people in the same boat, just not in front of them.
That is true. That is true. You see, we gave out a lot of scholarships last night, and we decided to do our season finale on our podcast. And we also wanted to do scholarships in this event. So if you are here for the scholarship for the PC Final Frontier, go ahead and type "I will pass" in the comment section, and also mention your email ID so that we can pull out your emails and we can randomly select those winners who can get scholarships from PC Final Frontier. The topic of this season finale is basically growth mindset. We recently had the exam results from the May PCE, and we wanted to talk about like how to keep moving forward if you did not make it in the exam and how to stay motivated. What is actually growth mindset? It's something that a kind of personality and attitude when you become unstoppable. Growth mindset is basically a term where you always want to think about how to keep moving forward. Growth mindset in PCE is when you start studying and you're struggling into your preparation and you want to find a better path, but you also want to keep growing. Basically, you want to learn in a way that you're becoming a very mature physiotherapist and you're becoming a person who is competent enough to start treating patients. Our goal is never to just pass the PC. Our goal is to basically make a community where we can find great PTs who can work with the patients. Not just limited to the PCE. We want to create more leaders in this field. And I'm so glad to meet a lot of people last night where we could share our ideas and talk about how things can get bigger within the internationally trained PTs in Canada. What do you think about growth mindset? You can also type it in the chat and let us know about your concept of the growth mindset. But let me talk to my guests and my co-hosts, Ruchi and Faiza. Like, how would you recommend to somebody who did not make it in the exam? And what is your take on that? Like, we understand that you feel devastated and you feel like very discouraged after putting so much of efforts. Ruchi, what do you think is your take on that?
I'll say take it as a stepping stone. There's always, I am a firm believer, whatever happens for a good reason.
Right.
And believe me, I've been at a spot where I wouldn't want the things the way they were, but I realized it happened for a reason. Take it as a stepping stone, learn from it, hold yourself accountable, and go with it. Do not give up.
Right.
That's not the end of the world. And you can do it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Right. Faiza, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I was think the same, like, failure is very difficult to accept when you are like working so much hard for the PC. Everyone knows how frustrating and like the PC journey is so psychologically so depressing. So when you put so much of effort and suddenly you're not getting the result what you want, it's like so devastating. But still, it's fine. If you have lost it, it's okay. You can get up and again do it. That's why we are here. Final Frontier, you can reach out to us. Like we are here to help you people. Even if you failed by just 2-3 marks, that's okay. We all have been there. So we will guide you.
Yeah. You see, I've always believed that PCE journey has to be joyful. There's so much pressure already around you, and we don't want you to take PCE as a barrier. And this is what I was talking yesterday also with some of our future physiotherapists. Like, they were so worried about if I'd be able to pass the PCE or not. I was just talking about them with them about, like, why do we have to take PCE as a barrier? Why can't we think about PCE as a milestone? Why can't we think about it as a stepping stone, just like Ruchi mentioned, right? I mean, yes, it's not easy to handle if you fail the exam, but then you also have to think about, like, imagine 5 years before what you were thinking about yourself going where. You were thinking about going to Canada. You were thinking about getting into the process. There was a time when CAPR process was also impossible to you, but you did that. There was a time where you were like, I can't even study for so long, but you did that. Now it's PCE. You have to take the exam, and you have to have enough courage to handle these small barriers, which I consider failing the PCE first or second attempt, right? So what do you think about, like, if I say PCE should be a joyful journey, considering that it's a very stressful procedure? Faiza.
First of all, what I want to say is like how people study, they want, we, especially like when you're from India or from Asian country, we have a mindset that you have to study a lot, right? You have to read all the books, you have to go line by line, you have to remember. That's not how it works. Here, it's just a smart work. You have to know what is unique point in a condition. So we can just take, if you have a restrictive conditions like obstructive, restrictive, everyone has a shortness of depth. Everyone has pain. You don't remember all those things. Just go with unique point. What is there you have to remember. Then the entire system you have finished. So this is how it works. And if you're just going to do like this, it's not stressful. It's very easy and enjoyable, I think so.
That is true. Ruchi, anything on that?
I'll say, don't get lazy with some stuff. You have to do, if your target, the end goal is to work as a registered physiotherapist in Canada, you have to do it.
Right.
Now, you either get lazy and fail, or you really love what you're doing, get into the core of it, understand things, enjoy the journey, and go through it, and you'll pass. Either you repeat it or you just love it and do it at once. The choice is yours.
Yeah. I get it. 100%. I think instead of looking at the choices, we just have to stick to the plan and just do it. Let's talk about the people who passed the exam. Congratulations, everyone who passed your May exam. Now let's talk about the growth mindset in those people. Like, moving ahead, they immediately start thinking about, I want to take the practical. It's another exam, a lot of money to spend. I have to prepare for it, spend extra time on preparing that. But I also have to find a resident PD job. I also have to find a supervisor to help me out with my hours. Let's make a path for them, because we did meet a lot of employers last night, where we talk about like positions here and there. Let's talk about growth mindset in the people and what would be the correct way to go with finding a job and looking for something that you really love. Ruchi.
I remember Dr. Singh saying once you give the exam, now is the time to work on your resume.
That is true.
Build your resume really well. I mean, his words have just stayed in my mind. Build your resume, go look for, meet different employers, look for the jobs, set a goal, what you really need from your job. What are your priorities? Set top 3 priorities, and then start looking at what workplaces you want to be at.
Right.
There are different setups. What is your goal? How do you see yourself? That is the basic stepping stone, I would say.
Yeah.
You have to give the clinical exam eventually. So at least when I'm coming from that place, it's not too long that I was at that spot. Just don't jump to that. Gain clinical experience. It's going to add on a lot to your clinical exam, actually.
Right.
Take one day at a time. That's the best advice I can give.
Yeah, that is true. Before we move on, I just want to let my listeners know that if you're writing, I will pass in the comments. There has to be a way that we approach you once we have the scholarships ready. So please make sure that you're writing your emails. Otherwise, we have no way to reach to you guys. So when you say I'll pass, great. We need that attitude. But in the comment sections, we need your email ID so that we can reach you through some way. All right. Faiza, I met one of the person from our team members who helped you find a job after passing the exam, right? And we are trying to place another person in the same clinic. What is your take on somebody who is going to the work for the very first time? What kind of attitude that person should take? What kind of expectations that person should take to the workplace on day one?
Yeah. So here, like whenever I have met a resident therapist, they all have worked as a PTA. Here, after coming to Canada, I've never worked as PTA. I directly gave my exams and I got cleared and got the job. So when you have no experience in the sense, when you have not worked with in the clinic setup, not working how the environment goes in Canada, you have to go with the open mind. You have to accept everything. You shouldn't consider yourself, okay, I know everything. People are under me. I should be learning. You can learn from PTA. You can learn from anyone. So be open-minded, just like a sponge that absorbs everything, and work on your mistakes, because as soon as you get inside the clinical setup, you will have some nervousness. You will surely make some mistakes.
Right.
Just don't make it. Just make sure that you're coordinating with your supervisor in a perfect way. And if you're working with PTAs, make sure like what you are saying to the PTA and what they are telling to you, and have a very good communication with the patients, with the ethical borders, and everything will be fine. Yeah,
that is true. I think what a lot of people might think, either they are underestimating too much or they are overconfident sometimes, right? We need to be humble enough and have an attitude that I'm going to a place where there might be a different culture of work. And I should observe first before I start making my own conclusions and I start making my own decisions. I mean, having an autonomy and being an independent PT is great. But what we need to understand is understanding the culture is really important. If you're not trying to jello with everyone in that culture, then we are the odd one out. And it's going to be difficult to survive in that workplace. Right. And of course, being respectful and, being courteous is really, really important. But you have to understand the culture at the workplace. Otherwise, you're always left out from the group. Ruchi, what's your take on relationship with the coworkers when somebody who passed the exam and they're going to start working?
It makes a huge difference. You are working at least 8 hours in a day, or maybe somewhere between 6 to 8 hours. You spend a huge time, a huge chunk of your lifetime with your coworkers.
1/3 of your life, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And having a good cordial relationship, being really respectful. Everyone is coming from different backgrounds.
Right.
Do not underestimate yourself. Do not overestimate yourself. Everyone is equal, and that's how you build a cordial relationship. And it even helps you be good and happy to go to work. You look forward to working with those coworkers if you really have a cordial relationship, and keep up with the peace and do wonders.
Right. When you said about the happiness and everything, something that I studied during my MBA, and they say the satisfaction of the job can have multiple factors. And the two most important multiple factors are mental peace and money. A lot of times you have to find out a balance between your mental peace and the money. Let's say if you're getting $41 an hour workplace, which is about 60 minutes away from your place, and you're getting $39, which is about 10 minutes away from your workplace. Which one would you choose? So I think I'll choose $39 because that's close to my place, and I don't have to go into the traffic. I have peace of mind. I'm very close. In 10 minutes, I go to work. In 10 minutes, I come back. Those $2 every day that I'm losing, or every hour that I'm losing, I'm actually saving a lot of time for myself. Time is equal to money, right? And that time that I'm saving for myself, I can do a home health, and I can probably work with PC Final Frontier as a mentor, or I can just spend with my family. Please look at the benefits, what benefits your employer is offering you. Do not just run after the dollar price. Faiza, what's your take on the dollar?
I don't know. I just cannot just say on this because it depends from person to person, For some, yeah, because for someone, the dollar might be very important because they might be with like staying on here and they want that money to be like, to go for the savings and to do for further for something else. So yeah, I just cannot just say on anything like that.
That's okay, because I have seen people who would not take the benefits of the good insurance that they're getting. They won't take benefits of the pay time off from the workplace, but they are going for dollar price. They're not full-time employees. They want to have a contract with them. So there are a lot of options available. But the goal is to think longer term. Whatever give you happiness is the end of discussion. There's no judgment beyond that, because if that's making you happy and that's what you want to do right now, right? Ruchi, I'm assuming that in future, in about few months or years, I don't know, you're going to become an employer, right? I have a feeling. Tell me something about what quality would you want in someone if I'm applying in your clinic or whatever you're going to start. If I want to be working with you, what kind of abilities that you would expect from me?
The first thing that really came to my mind was the ability to learn.
Okay.
It's you learn, you grow.
Right.
And that's how the
Can you elaborate on learning? Like, are you expecting me to learn the techniques? Are you expecting me to learn the environment?
There are no limitations to how your approach is. Or I feel you will learn every single day till the day you die.
Absolutely.
So being open to learning, let's say, different techniques, understanding different approaches. You may not be 100% with everything. You may be 100% with two good approaches, and maybe you have a good quality of being capable enough to understand different approaches, and that's how the growth will be. Different techniques, open to developing good relationships, understanding different perspectives. You come from a different background, the clinic has a different background. Just gelling up, understanding, and cordially moving forward. That's how I would say a good employee would be.
I agree with that. I don't want to start working with you with an attitude that I have more experience in the field. I have been certified with this. Of course, I'm bringing a lot of tools with me. I'm bringing a lot of expertise with me. But because I'm working with you, I have to respect what you require, right? I have to talk with you. I have to present myself in a way. Hey, I know these techniques. Do you think I can use this to work with your patients? Right? If your goal is not to work with ortho patients, and I know all the ortho techniques, that means we are not a good match.
Yeah.
So it's very important to talk with your employers and be very transparent of what you're bringing on table, so that the expectations does not have a clash in future. And that saves you a lot of frustration. That prevents a lot of unexpected expectations.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, I'll really work on becoming a better employer.
Right.
Being an employee, I would really, I'm at a spot where I'm an employee right now. So I would really work on becoming a better employer. I'm sure things change, but all efforts would be going on becoming a better employer.
I strongly believe there are two kinds of people. One who would always find, I want to be like them. I want to be like him. I want to be like her. But another one is, I don't think I want to be that person. So it's important to have both attitudes in a person when you're working with an employer, and when you don't find something which is, aligning with your thoughts. This is, or someone who is being jealous or who's being, any inappropriate behavior. You kind of feel like, okay, I don't want to be this person. And when I become an employer, I don't want these qualities. I've experienced it and I don't want to be like that person, right? Of course, everyone loves the support, right? If you are being supported, then you should become a support to someone, because that person would also like that. So it's just about learning from each other, the employers, the employees, the co-workers, and everyone, right? This is our season finale, and we want to give everything out to our people who are going to listen to us in future, and we want to say what we offer. We do offer the PCE written course. We do help in the clinical. We do help in finding jobs. We do help in immigration. We do have employers in almost all the provinces, and we can help you to get settled in Canada. Right, we just did an in-person social event last night, and we did a lot of networking with a lot of great leaders in this community. So if you need help, and if you want to be very fair with your employer and or about yourself as well, if you're like, I want everything in free, that's not going to happen. Let's not expect that. I want to be very clear with that, because when somebody is sponsoring you from a different country, they do have expenses. So you should be ready to pay those expenses, right? So let's be very practical with our approaches. Any final note, Faiza?
I think like we have to set our goals for the dreams,
Right.
like people are here to just discourage you in a lot of manner. Though you're so good, you're there, like they'll say the exam is difficult, you cannot get a good job. Even if you get a good job, you're not paid well, or sometimes you may not get a good co-workers, the things are going on like that. So no matter what obstacles come, you have to decide what do you want for yourself. Like,
Right.
what do you want? Where do you want to see yourself? Okay, so I think no one can judge anyone.
It's
You
true.
can judge yourself. If other person is judging, that up to them. Their judgment doesn't matter to you. You know what you're going through it. So just work on your weaknesses, just make you strong, and just go achieve your dream. No matter what anyone says, let them speak. You know what you're going through it, just achieve it. That's it.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you, Faiza, for being a good support to the podcast series and to the event we did last night. And we're very grateful to have you.
Thank you so much for me.
Any final note before we end this season?
Yeah, Ruchi?
Yes.
Ruchi, any final notes? Yeah.
I really had this message in my mind last night as well. I couldn't convey it. I hope everyone is listening this. Do not listen to the people who tell you cannot do it. You can do it. The people who tell you cannot do it, they actually don't want you to do it. That's all I would say.
It's so hard, Ruchi. I have to stop you. It hit so hard because a lot of people also talk to me about that. And I was like, you know what? For next 4 months, don't talk to them.
Yeah, don't talk.
Don't break the bridges. Don't burn the bridges. But just don't talk to them for 4 months, because they don't know your story. They don't know what you're going through. They don't know your caliber. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so this was one of the things I really wanted to mention yesterday. And this thing that I said, you cannot do anything, that's incorrect. Anyone and everyone can do anything and everything if you have intention to do it.
Right.
So hold your intentions right. And this is going to help you in every aspect of your life. It's just not about PCE. It's about anything and everything. Just do it. Someone who tells you cannot do it, just don't talk to them. I mean, Ravneet was generous enough to say don't burn bridges. I would say burn the bridges. On a lighter note, I don't mean it, guys.
I understand, but extending what you said and adding something in the final note, and I'll end my final note with that too. We are like, how can we forget we are humans? How can we forget we are the most creative, most innovative species on this planet? When you said anyone can achieve anything and learn anything, come on. We are the most innovative species created by the God, created by the nature, right? If we can't do it, then who can, right? So just remember that you have the most interesting, most expandable, and most unfathomable thing in your head, and just use it with positivity. Negative thoughts are always easy to get in, and positives are always difficult to get in. You need to become a person who's only grabbing the positive thoughts and just staying away, repelling the negative thoughts. Every day, every time, all your life. And that's a big lesson for me as well. I have to keep reminding to myself, right? So thank you everyone for joining in. If you could not join the live session, this video automatically will upload it under the podcast series, and you can still type your email I need your emails in order to email you your scholarship code. So please type your emails in the comment section, and we will select 2 to 3 winners and we'll email you with your scholarship codes, and you can use it for the courses. Thank you, Ruchi. Thank you, Faiza, for joining in. And I'm loving my time here. And I see you soon for lunch.
Yeah. Thank you, Ramni. Thank you,
Take
Ruchi.
care.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You all have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.